Hi everyone, I'm Andy Patrick. I have probably met most of you before, but if I haven't, I'm Director of Experience Design here at Jan Kelly. I head up everything that is UX, digital experience design, and I'm here today to talk to you about digital trends. So there's lists of digital trends that come out every year, and they're things that we obviously keep an eye on as marketers. We want to be monitoring these and applying them to our own digital experience practice, and ensuring that as we go forward, we're always improving and we're always making our experiences better. So we've aggregated a number of these lists. We've looked at a whole bunch of them. We pulled them together. We've decided on which ones are most pertinent to you. And we're going to talk about them. We're going to explain them a little bit. And we're going to kind of dissect how they can be helpful to you and what we should keep an eye on for you as clients and for us as marketers. So what I should cover first is the reasons why these trends are so important. Expectations over time, they've changed a lot. During the times when Uber, Airbnb, and like all of these like social platforms like Snap and TikTok and all of that kind of stuff, that's all been coming out over time. And us as consumers, we've had these things to work with and to play with, and they're so personalized and they're so tapped into what we're looking for that we begin to expect a lot more of our digital experiences. So expectations is like a key point in all of this. When we say that your expectations have changed over time, they were gradually changing and increasing over time when all of these things came into being. But then when COVID came around and we had to be digital first in all of our behaviors, we couldn't go out there, we couldn't have these experiences that we were used to having physically, then our expectations just skyrocketed. Everybody now expects so much more from digital experience, and that's why we have to keep an eye on these trends and we have to apply them to our own marketing efforts. So I'm going to jump into these digital trends and talk about them one by one, and then we'll take it from there. So our first trend that I wanted to talk about is chatbots. And that's not to say that chatbots are a new thing, because we all know that they've been around for a long time. It's the changes in adoption. So in 2023, Business Insider is saying that 80% of big businesses are going to have chatbots. And that is for a number of reasons. One, that they're getting better. The need for human support behind these things is becoming less and less. Like the technology is becoming smarter. We've seen things like ChatGPT coming into being. You don't even realize that you're talking to a robot. It's going to have a human conversation with you, and you're not going to even register that it's a robot. And also there's staffing concerns. So there's going to be, it's going to be difficult for some businesses to find the staff. So this will fill in the gaps, and it'll allow people to kind of answer their own questions before. And that's a fairly big point as well. So people like to choose their own adventure. They like to choose their own way of communicating with you as a brand. Some people like to pick up the phone. That's not me. I don't like to pick up the phone. I like to communicate by text message or by chat. So that's what I would probably choose. And then there's other people that like to just kind of dig through your website, self-serve, like find all the information that they're looking for themselves, take their time. And everybody has these different behaviors, right? So that's really what we're doing when we talk about improving digital experience. We're giving people options. We're allowing them to behave in the way that they want to behave and communicate with you in the way that they want to communicate. So the things that we have to keep an eye on between us as a client and marketing agency is we have to ensure that the chatbot that we're building isn't something that's pushy. We project like human behaviors through digital behaviors. So if you were to put up a chatbot and it does like a little creepy kind of appearance in the corner, or if it's dinging at you constantly, we've all seen these before. It's pushy, and it's not a behavior that we as humans respond well to. It's kind of like the pushy car salesman of back in the day. It's something that we have to avoid. But these are all options. So you can make your own chatbot. You can make it as smart as you like. You can set up all your own answers, or you can have like AI learn. These are all options in building chatbots. So you have to keep an eye on them. You have to make sure that these behaviors aren't being exhibited and we're not turning people off, rather as helping them. And another thing is, it might seem like a very expensive undertaking. It might seem like, like if I want to build this AI thing and it's going to be super smart, it's going to cost a lot of money. We don't have to go there first. We can do a very kind of phased approach to it. You can start small and then you can build from there and just like test it, see how much people are interacting with it, see how interested they are in it, see if they're enjoying it, and then grow it from there. And if they're not using it, then, you just stop offering it. It's one of those things that if it's not helping anyone, you can just cut it. So that's the best way to kind of dip your toe into and kind of gradually go from there instead of going the whole hog and making it from scratch. So the second trend that I wanted to talk about is personalization. So personalization as a trend has been around for a couple of years. We've all known as marketers that our consumers are looking for personalized experiences. We expect everything that we're seeing in our feed to be interesting to us and to be personalized to us. We all know that when you go to sites like Amazon or any other kind of shopping sites, that we expect to see suggested products. We go and click on something and it's going to give you recommendations based on what other people are interested in that like the same thing as you. Here's other things that you should buy. Something that we do have to keep an eye on, though, when it comes to personalization. And the reason why it's becoming a hot topic again this year is because of the change in third-party data. The access to third-party data is becoming more controlled. We need to find other ways to personalize experiences without relying on that third-party data. And third-party data being data that is collected elsewhere from our digital behaviors. All of that data about us, it used to be fairly easy to access. It was like, this person's interested in this, and this. So when they come to our experience, we have a good idea of what they're interested in, and then we can serve things up accordingly. That is becoming a little bit more controlled. What we have to do is learn other ways to personalize the experiences for people. And a lot of that is based in machine learning. We understand what other people are interested in, so we serve things up. We give them recommendations because somebody else who landed on this thing and was interested in this thing, they went on and they were interested in this and this, or they ultimately bought that. We can use that behavior, we can apply it to other people because it can be aggregated, and as I say, machine learning kind of figures that out for us. So that's something that we have to keep in mind as marketers. We need to find ways to personalize without necessarily relying on data that can be bought. It's still possible. It's still like fairly straightforward. It's just a change. So our third trend that we're finding out there these days is authenticity and transparency. So again, this is something that's kind of rooted in creative for a lot of marketing agencies. It won't be something that's new, where we have to speak to people like humans. We have to be authentic. Our language has to be one that communicates on a certain level with the people that we're speaking to. We're not talking at them, we're talking to them. So that's a creative challenge that has been around for a long time. Like, all of our creative campaigns in marketing agencies have been geared to that. It's all based on an insight. It's all based on understanding who we're talking to. That's the authenticity side of things. And that's something that, digital speak has been lacking in a lot of ways in the past, where it's like we kind of speak to people like robots and it's a little bit too functional, and we're not speaking to them like humans. So I love that we're seeing creative ways of communicating people coming into the digital world. So it's not just plain robot speak. It's communicating with us on a personal level. So that's the authenticity side of things. When it comes to transparency, that's another thing that businesses in the past and still to this day have tended to kind of hide. We tend to bamboozle people. We tend to hide the details that we're not comfortable with. It's like, oh, these things are expensive, so let's not give up pricing right away. Let's make people contact us before they can get the pricing. That all is not what people are looking for. People are expecting you to give them all of the information so they don't need to go digging for it. Customer reviews, like, put in an aggregator, like, allow them to be able to find honest reviews on your website. Don't pick your favorite one and put that up there. You got to show the good and the bad. You got to allow people to find this stuff. They will find it. They'll go digging for it and they'll go ask Google, and then they've left your digital experience at that point and they're off into Google and they're digging down that rabbit hole. You might as well own it, and you might as well give that information to them because that's what they're looking for, and they will trust you more for it. So number 4 is a biggie, but we have to talk about it because it comes up on pretty much everyone's list, is immersive and virtual experiences. So this is kind of twofold. There's two things here. Virtual experiences, you would instantly think we're talking about VR. It's not necessarily VR. You can have a virtual experience on like a laptop, on a phone. You don't have to be wearing virtual headsets. And the reason for that is the virtual experience is like a virtual world. So if we talked about the metaverse, if we talk about Fortnite, if we talk about Roblox, all of these are virtual worlds and virtual experiences that people are having. We, during COVID, had a number of virtual experiences where you would go and walk around a museum without actually physically being there. That's a virtual experience. Now, those are obviously starting to go away now that we're back into physical behaviors and we're getting out there. But when it comes to things like Fortnite, Roblox, etc., we're seeing more and more brands get into those spaces. In the case of Fortnite, they have concerts, and my own kids love these things. They go and buy skins so that they can be in this experience and looking different, looking cool, looking like monsters. Other games like Grand Theft Auto, you can buy virtual cars, and they never physically come into being. It's just something that lives in that virtual world. And people in general, they're more comfortable with this behavior now. We'll buy something because we like how it looks digitally in this virtual experience, and we'll be okay with it not being something physical. And then when it comes to the immersive side of things, this is more where we get into immersive tech. Currently, it's AR, it's VR, and these are experiences that we can have, like you could have a virtual experience using VR, but it doesn't always necessarily, as I said, have to be through that. But this is where you can get into an experience where you're in like a completely different world in VR. You're looking around, you can manipulate objects and look at things. As you can imagine, if you wanted to have a look at a product of yours and you wanted to see all the different kind of plugins and pieces and things like that, that's where virtual experiences are coming to the fore with marketing for us as well in digital experience. Augmented reality, we've seen it before where you can, put a car on your driveway and see how big it is. You can explore things like Pokemon Go. A lot of this is in gaming, but gaming is leading the way for us as marketers because it's going to become commonplace for people. People are going to expect it. So then next we have to cater to those expectations because otherwise we're left behind. So the last trend is omnichannel. So we as marketers have been operating in multi-channel and the multi-channel approach, which basically means we use all of these wonderful channels that we have. We have ads, we have emails, we have social, we also have websites that we can connect with our customers. But in a lot of instances, these are separate entities. So be that through separate agencies that are running each of these things, or just separate silos within agencies that are basically doing their own thing and they're pushing these messages out and they don't communicate with each other. So that also means like data isn't passed. People don't have fluid experiences throughout these things. So if you click on an email, it might end you up on a landing page that feels completely disjointed from what you clicked on, or it might not even show you the particular product that you clicked on and you have to go looking for it. So that would be a multi-channel approach. That is, we're reaching out to these people in all these different spots, but they're not communicating with each other. Omnichannel is meaning that all of these are working together. They're a holistic system that basically pulls all of this data together and it communicates with each other. So if you go into social and like Instagram, we've probably all seen this, where you click on an item that you're interested in buying and it takes you through to a buying process that just feels completely seamless. You didn't realize that you passed to a website, you purchased the thing, and then you're going to get an email that's going to come through that. And it's all going to feel like it was just connected. It's going to feel like it was all working together. And that's because it was. That's what an omni-channel experience is. So we have to move towards that. And there's obviously barriers to that, like, various agencies working on different pieces or different people working on different pieces. All of that has to work together for our customers to have a good experience and for them to basically trust you and to want to come back to your experience in the future. So that's it. We've covered 5 trends from chatbots, transparency, personalization, immersive and virtual, and omnichannel. We've covered a lot, but I should probably give you a few takeaways to kind of finish this off. So if there's 3 things that I can kind of recommend coming out of all of these trends is just be transparent, be honest, be authentic, like be believable. That would be the first one. Just speak to people, speak to your customers like they're humans. People are looking for honest language. They're looking for you to connect with them. And second, understand your customers. You have to dig into what makes them tick, how they want to be spoken to. You have to figure out what their goals are, what they are trying to achieve so that you can help them. You have to support them through their journey. And by helping them, they will not only probably purchase from you, they will tell their friends. They'll pass on the good word. They'll say they had a great experience buying from you. And word of mouth is the easiest way for you to gain customers. And then third, you have to keep up with changes. We have to follow everything that is happening in the world today digitally so that your digital experience can match that. As I said at the beginning, expectations are a big driver of this. We all expect great experiences. We expect it to understand us and help us. So if you're following all of these changes, you're following all of these trends, and you're keeping up with them and you're adapting to them and you're trying to put things out there that is on the level of these trends and what people expect, your customers are going to appreciate that, and they're going to see you as like a business that's trying to keep up with them. And they're going to, again, more likely want to buy from you and tell their friends, which is ultimately all of this, what we're hoping for, right? So thank you for listening. Hopefully these trends have helped you out, and we'll talk again soon.